And we're on our way to Cape Upstart, and we are wing on wing, hold out. We're doing about 5.5 knots. And we're following our dream time, which is the yachty we met just a couple of days ago, and yeah, they started losing us, so we stuck the pole out, and now we're doing some good catch up. It was a long day of sailing from Gloucester Island, but we arrived at Cape Upstart before darkness and in time to sit in the cockpit and admire the sun going down. The next day we made our way to the beach nearby, this time equipped with all the necessary tools to extract oysters.
And here we have the predator picking oysters from the rocks.
The other lesson we've learnt is oysters are sharp, and it really doesn't take very much to be quite dramatic.
The forecast for Wednesday until midnight. The winds are southeasterly at 15 to 20 knots, reaching up to 25 knots at times north of Mackay. The seas from 1 to 1.5 metres and increasing to 2 metres offshore. The swell east to northeasterly below 1 metre, and the weather partly cloudy with a possible shower.
During one of our walks we found a rocky outcrop, which looked like the entrance to a gorge, and the further we walked, the more spectacular it got.
We're currently about 20 minutes walk up a creek in Cape Upstart. It's beautiful, really beautiful.
Oh, I think we're a bit further than 20 minutes. We're probably about an hour and 20 minutes down, but we figured this is far enough away from the sea where the crocodiles are, so we jumped in this stream. It's very cool. It's very cool in that it's cool and it's also cold. But not too cold. It's not like cold Yangala or Cape Town, but it's, yeah. And we've inspected underneath most of the rocks and there's nothing lurking, so, and we can see the bottom. Anyway, it's set to rain today, so this might be our turnaround point. On our way into Cape Upstart, we noticed a whole lot of little and not so little beach shacks, which are only accessible by boat. We met a couple who own one of those dwellings while walking on the beach one day. Jimmy invited us over for sundowner snacks, where he showed us the correct procedures in launching a cast net. He showed us the all-important skill of removing a hook from a calf muscle or similar, and he also showed us methods of filleting the fish. Thanks to Jimmy and Robin for officially welcoming us to Cape Upstart. The weather forecast was looking good to head onwards to Cape Bowling Green, so we picked up the anchor at 3 AM to make use of the early morning wind. I'm not sure we could have ever imagined what kind of day we were about to have. It was a very peaceful morning and we were making good progress. The wind continued to get a bit stronger until we were on the edge of happiness, so we decided to put a reef in the main. We still managed to maintain our average of 6.5 to 7 knots though. We just had a miniature crisis on the boat. Now we're trying to pull some sail in, and this guy came onto the fishing rod just as we were reefing the main. But anyway, we got the fish in and we didn't break the boat and we didn't kill each other. This was just a bloodbath a minute ago. We just washed it off. Looks not too bad now, but just cut its throat and bleeding it out. Woo! Within half an hour of having heaved to so that we could land the mackerel, we had whales swimming with us for a good 20 minutes. I did a whole separate video on that, which can be found on the Sailing Velindre channel. After all that excitement, things calmed down a bit, the winds dropped out and we shook the reefs out and continued on. We had heard that Cape Bowling Green had been a terrible anchorage the previous evening, and the winds were still good and we were still on schedule to push all the way through to Horseshoe Bay at Magnetic Island. We arrived at Horseshoe Bay quite late, but the next day we put the dinghy together and did one of the big hikes around the island. What we're dealing with here is a total lack of respect for the law. A pile of ash from a fire just underneath a no fire sign. Lovely stuff. You did a very bad job that time.
I found a geocache.
Okay. You dropped the key.
Yeah, I've got all the keys from the piano. Put some of them. Official geocache, apparently.
This road needs a resurface, don't you reckon?
I think it might. I think it would be very useful. But it hasn't stopped me beautiful from getting down here. Yeah.
Would you like to tell me about your big day?
Oh, hello. We walked a very long way.
The long way around.
We walked a long way around, but the pretty way around. I did give Liam an option of going the short, fast way, but he opted for the pretty way because he knew no better. I did, but I still went for it.
And we were going to catch the bus at lunchtime.
Yeah.
But then I had a face full of pistachio nuts and I was happy to go on. And then we ran out of water.
Yeah,
that was very thirsty.
And it was like 6K, so I'm like, oh, that'll be easy. But it was, 6Ks like that and 6Ks like that. So not quite as entertaining a walk as I was hoping for. And then we've gone and we've done some shopping. We had fresh bread and lovely homemade lunch from the IGA. And then just picked up some basic supplies so we can have people on the boat because we kind of owe a bit of cheese and biscuits to a lot of people.
And beer.
And beer.
I had to snaffle a few beers from other people, which is not a great thing to do, but...
No, but voluntarily good. But yes, we're going to make sure we've got a bit of supply for when we invite them back on our boat. Yeah. That's been my day.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Over the next few days we decided to make use of the bus a bit more and give our feet a bit of a break.
Welcome to Picnic Bay.
Well done.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah. Something that I think is quite important in this new yachting life of ours is making sure we can both do various tasks. Operating the dinghy is one such task, and although she was a bit rusty to begin with, she is now no longer a rookie. Next time we move on to Orpheus Island and negotiate a very shallow entrance into the Hinchinbrook Channel.